Not long after I first came to faith, someone who was rather surprised by the change was even more amazed that I felt the need to go to church. "You don't have to go to church to be a Christian," they pleaded. And of course, they were absolutely right. Becoming a Christian is a transaction which takes place between a man or a woman and God. They reach out to Him as individuals and ask for the love and forgiveness which He has offered in Jesus. Once accepted, their life is made new in the eyes of God and they start all over again. Church is not a vital part of that process. The thing is, that process itself often takes place in or through a church. It provides a helpful context for such things to happen. As a friend of mine puts it, church is a great place to find out that you have been found by God. Churches are places filled with people who've been through that experience and are keen to understand it better for themselves and to share it with others. The word for church originally meant called out. Churches were groups of people who had been called out from where they were and from what they were doing and then called into a new way of life. The thing is, that new way of life is far from obvious. We've got so much to learn about living differently and exercising the grace of God. By the way, you can find that in another one of these films. We've got so much to learn about those things. And this is where the fellowship of the church comes into its own. To find yourself in a church is to find yourself in the company of lots of people who all have an invisible L plate around their necks. They've found a new faith in God, but they are trying to work out what it means, and they make a lot of mistakes as they do so. At its best, church is a really good place to make those mistakes. A place where you are surrounded by other people who are also trying to live God's way. Churches have an upward dimension as people reach out to God and thank Him in worship and seek His inspiration. They have an inward dimension as people lean on each other for strength and encouragement. And they have an outward dimension too, as people whose lives have been touched by God try to affect the lives of others positively too. People sometimes describe the church as being like a family. That's not helpful if you've either got no experience or a bad experience of family. At its best, though, family is a place where, whether you are at your best or your worst, you always belong. That kind of church is one of the roots of my faith.